Hello YouTube, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to be welding up a bracket like this. Is it's a table square for your fixture table. So you set it on here, you bolt it down, and then when you're running your pieces against it, you will butt them up against this, and you can clamp through here to hold your piece, vertically. They come from, like I said, Weld, CertiFlat, and they come in multiple pieces. I'm just checking, feels pretty good to me. I think they're like $66 a piece for these. This is a 12 by 12 by 6 by 2. So it's 2 wide, 12 inches tall, 6 inches deep going this way. And this is the holes for your clamps to go into. If you have a piece clamped, this is clamped to your table. And just for example, if I have this on the table and I have a piece, butted up against it, I can put this clamp in here into the hole, slide this down, tighten this up, and it'll hold the sheet metal or metal against this clamp straight up, perfectly vertically. And then I can, the pieces on the table, I can put my tacks in. I'll have, 3 or 4 of these going down the line, just holding the sheet metal vertically while I tack it to the piece that's sitting on the table. So we're going kind of like that. So what I'm going to be doing today is just showing you guys how we put these things together, because they don't come like this. They come like this. So you get 2 uprights, you get the front piece with the holes in it, and then this is the base, the portion that sits on the table. So you got to put this together, get it all squared up, and then you got to weld it in these seams here. So I'll be showing you guys, how it's done in the video today. I have one clamped up here, and I'll just kind of show you guys how it's done. I've already made 2, and so I have to make 2 more, because I bought a total of 4 of them for now. So I just set these over here. And if you're wondering, what is this thing? This is something I just made. It's a Tig Rod tubes holder. So I'll probably make a video on it just using cardboard, just to show you guys how I did it. But basically what I did, from this edge to this edge is 24 inches. Each of these holes are 2 1/4 inch diameter, and they're about 1 1/4 inch apart here. So I want it 1 1/4 inches here in between each of these pieces, and then 1 1/4 on this end here. And then from the top of the hole or bottom of the hole to this edge is 1 inch. From this point to that point is 1 inch. And so overall, this is 5 inches from here to here. That's 5 inches. Each hole is 2 1/4. This front piece is 2 inches from here to here. That's 2 inches. Then on the bottom, same thing, 5 inches. The same holes, 1.5, 2 1/4, 1.5, 2 1/4, 1.5, 2 1/4, all the way down. It's 24 inches width-wise. And it'll mount to the wall. And I'll just take this Tig Rod tube and just slide it into the hole. And that's what this thing is. It'll be mounted to the wall. I have 6 of them. I have 6 tubes going across. Because the tubes are 2 inches diameter. So I made this 2 1/4. So I wouldn't have any problem sliding it in and out. Then I screw this top off, take my Tig Rod off, screw it back on. It locks it in, has a seal on it to keep moisture and whatnot away from the Tig Rods. And so that's what this is, as opposed to going out buying one. I just made my own. That's what this thing is. All right, because I was thinking about buying a Tig Rod holder, but you know, I'm not gonna pay, you know, I don't know, $46, $50, $60 for something like that when I can just make it myself. So I just put my thinking cap on and just went through and laid my, let me grab this right quick. I just grabbed 2 Tig Rod holders, laid them down on my table, and just figured out, okay, in order to get my hand in here to unscrew one while next to the other, how much space do I need? So I said I figured I need about 2 inches. I think it's about 2 inches apart. So that should be enough for me to get my hand in there, screw this off, get the rod out, put the next rod in. So I did that, and then laid them all the way, I laid 6 of them out across. I said, okay, I want, you know, close to 2 inches between each one. I want them spread apart so far. And so I had a piece of, I think it's 14 gauge, just mild steel over here, laying on the floor. And I had a piece that was 24 inches long. So I just did all my calculations and came up with what I came up with. I mean, so when you start, you know, with welding and fabricating and all that stuff, you can make anything you want to make. I mean, again, I was going to buy one, but I said, what the heck? So I saw one online. Well, I saw multiple of them online, and I just kind of figured out kind of how they were doing it. But most of them that I saw had 5 holes, and 5 holes wouldn't be good enough for me. I needed 6, so I just made this one with 6 holes. And so that's all I did. I just came up with what I wanted, calculated it out, took a 2 1/4 inch hole saw, drilled my holes. Everything was laying flat. Drilled my holes, got my measurements, marked it, got my soapstone, marked it from here down, which is on a flat sheet, and just started marking where I want to put my holes. Started drilling my holes in, cleaned it up, spray painted it. That's it. All right, another thing I'm gonna show you guys. I think I talked about this in the last video or a couple videos ago. These clamps. I saw one online. It's basically the same thing. Here and here. For what I have, the size that I have is about $43 for the size that I have. They have one in here for $22, but the throat is pretty short. It doesn't have much throat to it. This is made from the manufacturer for a fixture table like this. This is designed for a drill press, but it doesn't matter what it's designed for. What I do is I screw this big nut off, put the threaded rod through the table, screw it from underneath, lock it to the table, and it works just as well or better than the type that you would spend 40 or 50 bucks for. You'll see this up closer, but this is, I have two in this position here, locking this piece down to the table. I paid $7.99 for two of these from Menards, and I bought two of them the same thing from Harbor Freight for $9.99. But now that I know Menards is cheaper than Harbor Freight, I'll just go to Menards and get them for $7.99. And so this is just thinking, guys. I saved money on that, making that. Saved money on these, just creating them to myself. And then, as you saw in the other video, how I made these myself. These are Harbor Freight clamps. These were $4 and some change. These were $27, and I just added this portion onto the bottom, so they would just fit right into the fixture table. And I just go in, clamp them down to the work, and just start working. I didn't want to pay, $200 or $300 for 4 or 5 of these things. I just $27 4 times, something like that. And these were, like I said, $4 and some change for these. So guys, I just want you to when you start doing this and get your fixture table, just think your way through it. Come back to these videos that you saw me talking about this stuff with, and just learn how to do this stuff, make this stuff on your own. That's why you have welders and grinders and all that kind of stuff. It'll save you money, and it'll get your skill level up, because now you're making stuff yourself that people that work, hourly and whatnot, production workers are making. You're making it on your own in your own shop. Just makes it that much better. All right, so let me get to this thing. So what I'm gonna be doing is just welding it up in spots. So I just have it clamped everywhere, because I really need this front to be flat. It can't have any, like rolls to it. It can't be sitting out too high in here. Everything has to be as perfectly flat as you can possibly get it. Like with these two guys here, when I set them face to face, they are really tight. There's no light between them. When you look in there, there's no light shining through where there's a gap. They're just tight. And that's not so much my welding, it's the way CertiFlat put these things together, where they cut them out and they do all the things that they do, so that when we get them, we can just line everything up and just weld it, and everything will come out square. Now these were $63 or $66 a piece. I was going to buy some from another vendor, but they're already put together. They were like $160 some, and that was the smaller ones. As you went up, $200, $300, $400 for these things. $66. This is, like I said, this is 12 by 6 by 2. You can get 12 by 12 by 4 and a lot of different sizes, but what I needed, $66 and some change. You can't beat it. So what I'm gonna do now is just bring you guys in a little bit closer, so you can kind of get a view of what I'm doing here. And I'm just really finding areas in here on the inside to just tack it up tight. So when I start removing clamps, I can start, going into those seams and just putting some tack bolts in there. I'm not welding up the whole seam in there because it's not necessary. I'm burning in hot. These are 1/4 inch. Each of these are 1/4 inch thick. And I think I'm burning in at, I have my water set for burning in 3/8, I believe it is, somewhere in there. So I'll show you guys how I do it. Let me just move this camera a little bit closer. Okay, and just quickly, guys, I want to show you the finished product. So just quickly, guys, I just want to show you the product that I was making on, I think, the last video. This is the clamp holder that I showed you guys I was making. I made 2 of them. I just painted them flat black and just bolted them to the table. So I have some of my clamps here, some of my stops here, some of my adjustable side stops here, just in the holes. So they turn out nicely. I have one on this side of the table and one on the far end of the table. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is just finding little areas that I can get my water into to put a tack in certain spots. All right, here we go. And I'm just kind of finding little areas to weld into. So what I want to do is just get in, and like I said, just tighten it up good. So when I take the clamps off, I can just go ahead and just start welding up those seams. All right. I think that'll do it for that. Just take the clamps off now. And what I'll do is lay it on its side now that it's pretty much freed up. Undo these. Move this guy over. And now what I'll do is just kind of go through and just kind of tack it up here. Let me go ahead and undo this guy. made some bolts to go through the table. And this kind of just locks this clamp or this fixture to the table. They make some pins that will just go right into the table, but I just saw some for, I mean, you can get them for cheaper than $66, but I just saw one for $66 for one. I don't need to do that. I'm just made some 5/8 pins on my own. So what I'll do now, you just lay it down and you just weld right into these little seams. Some people weld the whole thing. I don't feel that I need to. I'll just kind of tack it up. Just tack it in certain spots. All right, here we go. And you just keep doing like that, just keep moving around. And like I said, you can weld the entire thing, but I don't feel it's necessary for what I'm doing. Then you just flip it over. And you just do the same thing. I'm just going right into the corner. Just burning it in really, really good. Got a little bit of stuff off my border tip on here, but it came right off. Shoot this one in. And it's that simple. Make sure I got all the spots. And that's that. And so the way you set it up, I know you guys can't see me, but what you do is you take this bottom plate. So the way it's done, you take the bottom plate, make sure your table, there's nothing on your table like spatter or anything like that. You set it down, and since I have these bolts, I just go through this hole here, there. Put my nut on the bottom. Just lock it in place. And grab this one, do the same thing. Go through here, through this hole. Lock it in place. And then you just take this side, put that side there, and then you take the front, make sure these little edges are sticking down. It has a flat surface on the top, and the bottom surface will stick and go between. It's like a puzzle, it just locks in. Get it locked in like that. Then you just put your clamps on. Like in this case, I'll put these on first, just to make sure it's locked down to the table pretty good. Just lock it to the table. Then I'll put my clamp here, put one here to hold it in the center, one here. Just trying to keep it upright and level and everything. And then you just, after you get it all level, clamped in good, then you just go around and tack it just like I just did. All right, guys. So this is simple as that. And that's how you make the CertiFlat, they call them fab squares, FAB squares. So it's level, and I can go through, if there was any rough edges or anything, I will take my grinder and just knock it down. But I don't want to take any of the flatness off. So I think it'll be okay. And that's how you make the CertiFlat FabSquares. They're that simple. And like I said, if you're going to have a fab table where you have all the holes in it, you need tools where you can bolt it to the table or slide into the, to the board holes, so you can set your fixtures up however you want to set them up. Like you have squares, those just slide in. These are called side squares. They adjust, lock them in. I mean, you saw me lock the clamps in. Everything just locks in. I used to have to, the other table I had, I would have to take the clamps, these clamps, before I cut the bottom off and go under the table and slide them up through the little areas in the table and lock it, but it just wouldn't be sufficient. I would always have areas on the sculpture that I can't get to, because where they have the grooves cut in the table, the clamps wouldn't be long enough and all that stuff. But with this setup, I'll be right where I need to be easily. It won't be any issues anymore. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this video. Just want you guys to see what I was doing, what I've been making, and just show you guys how the CertiFlat fab squares go together. So I would highly recommend you get these guys, unless you want to spend a couple $100, 160 bucks, whatever, for one. Just go ahead and just spend 66 bucks and do your own, just make your own. All right, well, that's going to do it for this one. And I'm not sure what I'll be doing on the next video. I'll be making something, doing something. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. And as usual, peace out.